Hi, everybody. Oh, I love this mellow music from our fireside wait bot. Hello, welcome to Barsha, episode 26, with singer-songwriter activist Elaine Romanelli. Thank you for the applause. Here she comes. Yay!
Greetings, one and all.
This is my beautiful guest, Elaine Romanelli. I would like to do a little welcome song for you here.
I love it.
Yes, I do a little welcome song for all my guests. So here we go. Where do you go on Mondays when you want to have fun? Where can you go on Mondays when your day is done? Well, Fireside Chat is where it's at. Our guests are all the best. Instead of scrolling through your iPhone or watching the telly, please help me welcome Elaine Romanelli. Help me in welcoming Elaine Romanelli. How do you like that?
Barsha.
Rhyming
Amazing rhyme.
Rhyming Romanelli with telly. It was slightly British, but I
it.
took a chance.
I loved
Elaine,
it. I loved it.
Thank you so
Darling.
much. Now, I need to just give you your proper introduction. Because you're one of those multi-hyphenates. You act, you sing, you produce, you publish, you teach, and write words and music, which is a distinction because it's a theater thing and there's a songwriter thing that's different. And songs for the rest of us, which we will be talking about. All those are songs written by women, right? Are those songs composed by women? Yes.
All composed by women.
Right. We were going to talk about your Tony Kushner off-Broadway premiere and your national touring and your midnight special and your Facebook, how you pivoted in the pandemic like I did, and we did some wonderful things. But first, because you are a performer that performs also at a church regularly and writes sacred music. Can I call it sacred music?
Yes, absolutely. That's what I call it.
Yeah, because you're a composer in residence there. Is that correct?
I am. That is correct.
And it's the Church of St. Matthew and St. Timothy. Now,
Yes.
the reason I want to start there is because when someone gives you composer in residence, it means that you've done enough stuff for them free, usually. Or that they say to you,
100% spot on, Barsha.
No, because seriously, we want to tell people about this business. So like that was where now what was it about that church that you said, you know what, this is kind of my home?
So as a lot of people are when you're a singer, one of the jobs you do to keep the lights on is church work and temple work. I sing in both a church and a temple. You do not have to be a member of the religion of the institution where you sing. In fact, often it is not the case. So I was the soprano soloist there, and they knew I was a touring singer-songwriter because I'd be gone on Sundays sometimes off on tour. And they had some specific needs, and it started with one particular, it started with another piece that I wrote. Someone who was in the choir knew I'd written it, asked if I could arrange it for this choir, and I said, sure, I've already written it. Then they wanted to do a gospel Sunday. And I was like, we're doing this gospel music. Shouldn't there be gospel service music? Oh, I couldn't find any. And that went on for long enough that I was like, I can just write you some. And then once they knew that could happen, they're like, oh, we have this other need and this other need and this other need. And actually, the title came about because of Georgia Stitt, who we both know well, who started Maestra. Because
tell them what Maestra is so they know.
Maestra is a collection, an organization, and a fabulosity of all female composers. It has expanded beyond that. It started with like 12 of us in a room. You and I were in the very
first
cohort.
meetings. Yes.
And actually, I think I'm the unofficial. I think I started it. I mean, Georgia really started, but I'm the one that went up to her and said, "Hi, I'm Elaine Romanelli. Where are all the other female composers?"
Wow.
And she said, I'm having lunch with a student at NYU. Would you like to be part of this conversation? And I said, yes. So the three of us sat down and we talked about all sorts of things. And she said, I need to do something about this. And she invited us to a Song Space event. And then a month later, it was that first meeting.
Yes,
and it was just like 12 of us in a room. I think I cried through the whole first thing because I was like, these are my people. Finally, I'm not alone anymore. Anyway, she said, you know what? At the least they can do is give you a title. So yes. But then once you get a title, then they want you to write more and more and more music. So
okay.
That's how that happened.
I love it because when I went to your website, which by the way, everybody, I have it in the crawl. So if anybody wants to click on it, you'll see what I'm talking about. And because, yes, and I want to talk about the three, did you click on it? No, don't click on it.
I did. No, I didn't click on it. I just clicked on your face, your beautiful face.
Thank you. Okay, so I promoted you as singer, songwriter, activist. And people don't realize it, but activism through music and through art is so important because not only does it make people feel good in the moment, but it inspires them to go out and do something about something.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
So I want to talk about the singer-songwriter part of you first, because I was blown away with some singers when they write. They don't necessarily write, if you're in theater, for your own voice, but because your voice is so specific, and like you said, you're a soprano, you've written these two songs that really touched me, and I want you to set them up. Now, the first one I want you to set up is the one I listened to first, which was called Real, I believe. Do you want to set that up in some way?
Sure. I like to write songs that are a bridge of empathy into other people's lives. And I think it's powerful when you can hear someone's story and instead of think that could never happen to me, think, oh, I feel a kinship with this person and find some version of your story in their story. So this is a song that I'm hoping does that.
Okay. I'm going to play it. I have a terrible habit, and if you don't want me to do it, I won't. But because we're a video medium, I sometimes lower the song and say something. Is that going to bother you? Okay. Because I know it.
You say what you want to say. It's your show.
I may want to react to certain things because I love it so
much.
Love it. Here's ELAINE RomaneLli. Real.
It was clear when he broke his hand that day. After walls, I would be next. Except my grandma's vase, I won't miss anything. Got the car, took the kids and left.
It's beautiful.
Nobody knows, just my mama and the children. They seem more together than I feel. I didn't see it coming since you asked, I never did. Hard for me to fathom that this is real. This is real.
Okay.
Real.
Okay, I need to just lower this a little. That is so beautiful for your voice and the story it's telling. And I want to continue, but I just want to know you write for your voice.
We first met in a diner on a Friday. He paid my bill and asked me on a date. He knew airplane and the words to 9 to 5. Everything about it felt like fate.
He knew the words to 9 to 5.
Finally, someone who held open the door.
Oh.
Washed the dishes after every meal.
He washed the dishes.
I didn't see it coming when he asked, but I said yes. It felt like a fairy tale turned real. Turned real.
Turned real.
When it starts, you're so stunned. Never thought
That no vibrato is killing me.
Thank you.
It's the no vibrato that kills me, because you're sustaining something and it's so pure and in tune. That's all I want to say. Here we go for the ending.
My youngest asked, how much longer now? I've been wondering that too.
But
But we are safe. I'll be damned if my kids witness any of what I saw Mom go through.
Oh,
200 miles till we cross another state line. I can rest between turns at the wheel. You never know what's coming, but I think we'll be okay. One step at a time is how we'll deal with what is real.
oh,
everybody sing.
one step at a time. I will deal with what is real.
This is real. This is real. This is real. This is real. This is real.
Okay, can we please? Because that is what I consider. Look at that audience going wild. I knew they would.
Thank you all. I
Let
couldn't
me
help but
just-
harmonize with myself a little.
I heard that. But because there's a lag, but it's fine. Listen, let's talk about this song for a second. Obviously.
Let's.
So
It is not about my life. People
I know
worry.
that.
I also wrote a song where the lead character of the song is a bird, and I am not a bird.
Okay, but I
Specifically
do.
a hawk. So
Yes.
Yeah.
But I mean,
nobody be worried.
here's the thing. It's one thing to see, people are laughing at you in the studio audience. It is one thing to write a song. It's another thing to write a song that's perfect for your voice. Okay. Do you notice yourself writing in keys that are perfect for your voice? Even if you're writing for a musical? Go ahead.
Yes, I write in the same keys a lot, and I've actually had to force myself as a songwriter to try to write in different keys and still find the sweet spots of my voice. I do not only write for my voice. I've written some songs that are much better for other people's voices. And this is my third album. So, I think I got better at it as I went along and figured out also what kind of quality I wanted a song to have and where it should be in my voice. The song I mentioned earlier that's about a hawk sits much lower than this. And It has an earthier quality because of where it comes in my voice. And that's something I wanted for the song. So yeah, something I think about. It's something you think about too when you write for musicals, right?
Yes, I write in my own key when I'm doing the demos, which is another thing that people might not know about singer-songwriters. It is in the age now where we have to have home studios.
Have to. You can see part of mine behind me.
Yes, we produce our own demos and recordings, and sometimes they turn into finals because we don't go into studios anymore, especially during the pandemic. But we just do things at home. You know what I mean? And so you have to be good at recording techniques too, which a lot of people don't know.
You do. You have to learn so many things to do the thing that you most want to do.
Isn't that funny? I'm going to quote you on that. That's beautiful. So, okay. Do you notice, because you also write for theater and stuff, we all write for different things. When you're writing for theater and you have to think in a character's voice, first of all, be honest. Which one do you like better, or do you like them equally as good? You're writing for yourself and writing for a character.
Oh, what a great question. I think in some ways I'm always writing for a character.
Wow.
I'm always writing. Most of my songs are story-based, which is why musical theater is such a natural fit.
That's right.
The sacred ones maybe being the exception, but even there I tend to write stories if I can at all. A lot of my liturgical music has original text, and then some of it doesn't for obvious reasons. But so I think I'm always in some ways writing a story. I
Right.
think when I'm writing for a character that's definitely not my voice type, that's fun because I can do more
Right.
with the notes. I can sometimes I'll call someone and be like, do you have a G? Would a baritone normally have, not just you, but what about others? And
Right.
check out range.
Right.
I wrote a character that was a witch, and I got to think about like the quality that character would have, and maybe write stuff that I wouldn't necessarily want to sing, but I figured
Right.
someone else would enjoy singing.
Yeah. Okay. Now that brings me to the activism part. So on
Okay.
your website, and if anybody clicks it, they'll see this. You list sacred songs, you list your singer-songwriter songs, and then you list your songs under the title activism. And some of those are the seculars of I'm not the secular, the more spiritual, whatever you want to
Yeah.
call. It's
Yeah.
on the choral page.
Yes. On the
So
choral page,
let's
because
let
all those songs have scores.
right. And by the way, everybody, you have to buy people's music when they sell it. Okay, you can't just download it for free. But what I'm gearing towards asking you is, how do you
Yeah.
put activism, spirituality in the same? Why did you choose to put it on that page?
Great question. Well, so that specific page, the choral page, is geared towards music directors who work in institutions that have choirs or cantors and are looking for music where they're going to download the scores, pay for it and download the scores, and then have other people perform that music. So that page is that there specifically. And I grouped them into classical feel, liturgical, which means a specific thing, and then the bottom is spiritual and activism. Because I think there's a real strong connection between those two, especially in a church context. Like if you're talking about a UU church or a community where people come together for encouragement and replenishment, it often ends up that the encouragement and replenishment lead in the end towards a positive action.
Right.
And that's what I really want to talk about a lot today.
Yes, that's what I wanted to get there. And now let's go for it with the activism part of this. Because one of the reasons you came to me is you said, yeah, you're the first person to come to me, by the way. I need to thank you for that and say, hey, I have a message about activism through art and music, and I'd like to come on your show. And I said, absolutely. So go ahead and do what you want to do. Go ahead.
Okay, fantastic. Well, I want to talk about activism through art, but also for everyone. I want to talk about activism as an everyday activity. So we're approaching the midterms in the United States, and it's a crucial election. It's a really crucial election, and I know that feels like they've all been crucial. And there's a way in which that is true, with some of the rights that have recently been removed from voters and women. It really matters who is making the rules. I think we saw that in Georgia with the special election. 2 men won, which changed the ballots of the Senate. And the immediate response of the people in the state of Georgia was to remove voting rights from as many people as possible to try to keep the majority of the people from winning again. So voting matters, activism matters, who our leaders are matters. And but there's a way in which we're exhausted, right? We've come through a tough couple of election cycles. We've come through a pandemic. Come through is not really true. We've come through the worst of it, and we just don't know what's ahead. And we've been hearing a message from what I call professional activism, which is like, things are on fire, things are on fire. And they're not wrong. Things are on fire, but you can't live in a state of heightened awareness all the time.
Right.
It's like being in an armored car with a vest on, with your guns pointing out, knowing they're improvised explosive devices, but you're doing it for 8 hours. You just can't keep up that level of stress. So as I've been having conversations and thinking about this myself, I'm like, we need to rethink how we do this. And the reality is we're in a new landscape now in so many ways, from the pandemic, with art, with the technology we have now, and politically. And so this is a thing I'm inviting everyone to rethink. What is activism? Well, activism is part of your art. For instance, the sacred music I write is all inclusive when I'm writing it. And if you go to my Instagram page called Sacred Scores by Elaine, there's a little video there called Meet Elaine, and you can hear about my sacred writing philosophy, but I'm always asking the question, how can I make more people feel included in this? How can I write so that people that are alienated feel included? How can I write for different kinds of voices? How can we take this thing for this specific cause and make it bigger, wider? So that's a form of activism, right?
Yes.
So anything that you already do in your life can become activism. And I
Right.
would like us to stop thinking of activism as a fire we put out and instead think of it more like a pedicure. Activism like a pedicure. So hear me out.
I love that. And do you know this is
activism.
As you said
What?
I saw that Kathy down there wanted to ask you a question and come on stage. Are you ready for that? Okay.
Me.
Kathy, okay.
Ask me.
Kathy, do you want to ask Elaine anything? And you want to come on camera?
I'm currently passing stones, so I really don't want to.
Oh my God, Kathy!
Yeah,
Okay.
It's bad. It's bad.
Oh, that's terrible. I don't mean to smile, but I wasn't expecting that. I'm so sorry. Do you have a question for Elaine?
Not right offhand.
Okay, then I'm gonna mute you and put you in the audience. But stay with us. Stay with us, please. Stay with us. Okay, let me just.
Good vibes to Kathy.
Thank you for being there while you're going through a painful thing. When you wrote One Drop.
Yeah.
One small drop. I'm so sorry. One small drop. That was one of the ones that I wondered if you wanted me. How do you feel about that song? Because I feel like it's always like, I always mention Horton Hears a Who because I feel like everybody's important. And when that little who says yop, who didn't think he was important, I said this before, we are important. What's it going to take for us to realize that every one of us is important? What is it going to take?
Every one of us is important. So One Small Drop was a song I wrote for an early activism event, and I thought it was going to be heard by 6 people. And instead, that song has traveled far and wide without me. And it's about being the change you want to see in the world, doing what you can do. Are you playing it? Is that what's going to happen?
Yeah, I would love, you know what I would really love to do is try to get the video
can sing
on.
it for you.
Do you have your piano there? Right there, you could sing it? Oh my God, we're going to get a live performance. Oh my God, everybody clap if you want the live performance.
I have not warmed up today, so it'll just be how it is.
Okay. I'm going to put myself on. This is so exciting. I swear this was not planned. Oh my God. All right.
We didn't plan this. Okay.
I'm going to mute myself.
Let me tell my
Go ahead.
Let me tell my pedicure story very shortly, and then we'll say the song. So here's what I'm inviting us to do. And this song is a perfect encapsulation of this. Instead of thinking that activism is like, something's on fire, let me drop what I'm doing and go with my bucket and put the fire out, and then it's done and I'm walking away. I want us to think of this as an easeful part of our regular lives, like a pedicure. So some people do their pedicure at home. It's perfunctory, it's quick, it's handled, that's it. Some people have a place they go every week. That's what they do. They go to the same person. It's part of their schedule. Some people go like sometimes, but then they maybe get a massage. Some people, it's always a group thing. They bring their friends. They have a whole thing. The point is, everybody gets it done. They fit it in the amount of time, energy, money, and level of social fun that's right for them. And they just do it. And it works for them. And notice that we're all calling it a pedicure. We're not calling it cutting your toenails. Because a pedicure is way more fun. It's way more fun. So I think that activism can be like this. And this is one of my early songs that was a call to action to do that. So let's hear the song. I literally have not sung a note today. Barsha, I would not do this for anyone else on the face of the planet. You are that special to me. I'm going to pick a note out of the air. Okay, here we go. This is called One Small Drop. I am one small drop. And oh, how vast the waters look from here. As far as I can see, nothing is in motion. But I have heard that even one small drop can cause a ripple. Send its tiny wake out into the ocean. So I'll be one small drop, and have hope its tiny ripple joins a million more from drops like mine to cause enough commotion to move the massive ocean. Just for you.
Wow. Okay, everybody's going crazy with reactions. I just want to say that's it. And I see it. We know that if you see a drop, there's a ripple effect. You see it. It's in nature.
Yes.
You
see it. And so the thing that people ask me, they say like, Elaine, but I hate going to door to door. I don't want to do that. And I'm like, fine, don't do that. Elaine, I spend a lot of time on my phone. I just want to do something I can do from my phone. Okay, text as activism. Believe it or not, whatever way there is that already works for you, that you're already good at, that's already comfortable and fun, there is a way to use that as activism. And there's so much that's really been organized in a new and exciting and different way. And you can do it in 5 minutes. You can do it an hour a week. You can say, you know what, I'm only going to do this Wednesdays from 7 to 9 every other week. Fine, But we just need to start thinking of it as an ongoing part of our lives instead of a one-time thing. It has to be something we do on the regular for the rest of our lives. And if more of us do it, there's 338 million people in this country. And right now we are balancing precariously on the backs of about like 1 million people.
Right.
We just need to have, maybe like 100,000 people that are like in it on the regular. We just need everyone to do a little bit more on the regular in a way that's fun and easy and works for them so they can each be one small drop. That's it.
I love it. That is so good. And it's, yes.
People are like, where do I start? So I am left of center. So the things I'm going to tell you, the ways I'm going to tell you to start are going to be that. I think the easiest place to start is Swing Left, swingleft.org, because they're positive, they're clear, and they give you different ways. You can do things in person, just write letters, just write postcards, just make phone calls, just text, just donate. Pick the thing that works for you. And then the stuff that doesn't work, just ignore it with gladness of heart because you've picked the way that works for you. And if none of those ways work, there's still a place for you. Maybe you love cooking. Your cooking can be activism. Cook for the people that are going to go knock on the doors, make them all sandwiches. Maybe you sew some fun mittens for find the thing that you love, that you're already doing, and incorporate it into your life more deeply as your activism.
Yes, I did phone calls on the presidential election with Broadway phone banks, and we were on a Zoom looking at each other doing it. And it made it so much better. We were on a Slack thing and we were on Zoom.
Yes.
And it made it easier. And we were on a program that fed us the numbers that we would be calling. And, and then we took little surveys afterwards and said, how did the people answer these questions? And we weren't intrusive at all. If the people hung up on us, it was fine.
No,
I had to get over
your fear. Yeah. So I've started doing something with an organization called Postcards for Voters, FORvoters.org. They literally tell you exactly what to write. I bought some fun pens. I have some shows that I'm watching. I put on an episode of one of my faves. I use my fun pens. I write the same 3 sentences over and over, put the stamp on. 100 postcards go by like that. For me, that's easy. There's some people are like, I don't want to write that much. No problem. The thing that what I'm noticing and what I love that you just said, Barsha, which I think is so true, is that what you find is that when you find the thing that works, You feel
Right.
that sense of community, and that community replenishes you. So instead of it being
Yes.
like, oh, I got to do that, you're like, I did that thing and I was with a group of people and together we're in it. And like, we did that. And then it's like when your sports team wins, you're like, my team won. I did something.
Right.
I can take responsibility. Yes. It feels good.
I love it.
And it's fun.
I really love it. And I agree with you that this is the most important time right now. This is very important. It's like sometimes I can't.
So
I can't.
important.
Yeah, I can't think about it. So it gets me like. But you're right.
You get overwhelmed.
I get overwhelmed. Absolutely correct. But I'm getting inspired by you today. Now,
Yeah, you just take the one little piece.
and we're going to continue to talk about this for the next half hour, but I do want to also, why I love that you're here is not just for the activism, but your sense of activism comes through your songs, whether you're writing like the one
Totally.
small, yeah. And also in your, well, you call it liturgical music, but
Yeah,
I found
sacred.
sacred music. One of the things that I found that I really love is I think it's the song that you did. It's called the acapella. It's
Bless-
called Blessing, but it's the version
Blessing
where
song?
but it's the version where you do all the parts.
Oh, I've done all the parts on a number of them.
Well,
Like
this
sang
one,
them.
yeah. I don't want you to sing it live because I want everybody to hear.
I don't know which one she's talking about.
Wait, this is not. This is
Oh,
your
that's not
arrangement.
me.
I know.
Yeah.
Hold on. There's the one where you actually sang all the parts.
Oh, I did that on a bunch of these recordings.
But-
I don't think I sang all the parts on Blessing Song, though. I sang all the parts on Rest in Power.
Oh, really? Then I'll do that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let me do that one. I just want people to get an idea of what we have to do in the studio. So I might forward to that spot at the end.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and this is the Spanish English one, right?
Yeah. It's all me.
Beating hard with fear. Hearts beating now with anguish as we remember Him. Rest in power, passati.
Nice.
Lux aeterna, shine that we find some comfort, find release, hear our voices now.
Can I just talk about, I'm sorry, but I love talking about vocal
about it.
arranging. And I'm
Yeah.
sorry, everybody indulge me because this is my thing about
Yes,
vocal
let's
arranging.
do it. I love it.
Okay, so thank you. Sheila's here. Sheila Ray, by the way, is down here.
Sheila, hello, fabulous woman.
Sheila's
Well,
another
total star.
composer. But what people aren't seeing, and if they do click on your website, is that your songs are also written out. So do you use a program? Do you use Finale? And not only do you record all your parts, but do you do the copy work yourself?
Yes and no, depending. So
Okay.
I use Sibelius for my engraving.
Okay.
For this project, because there were so many pieces at once, I did hire someone to just tidy at the end, because sometimes you can't see the forest for the trees and like, are all the crescendos lined up? You know, all this stuff. And I was really glad I did that. I worked with someone who worked for Hal Leonard, engraved a lot. I got better at engraving. Engraving is the word for putting the notes down on a page so they're legible by other people.
I
That's
never
all
knew
engraving
that.
is. Yeah,
I never
that's
knew
what
it was
engraving
called
is.
engraving. And
It's called engraving.
it's terrible.
So there's a million ways to write a song, and a lot of people that write music, including very famous musical theater writers, do not actually know how to notate the music.
That's true.
So notating, they're separate skills. It's great. You can be talented in any direction. There's not one way to do it. A lot of people that write music don't read music.
That's
So
true.
I read music, I write music, and I know how to notate music. if I'm writing a singer-songwriter song, I may just record it in the studio or on my phone or whatever, sing it live for years, not even record it, or only record it and then later
I do that. My iPhone is my friend.
Full. It's full of songs.
This is full of ideas and songs. Thank God we have voice memo on our iPhones.
Oh my gosh. I don't know what we did before. So that particular song was a commission and they wanted some very specific stuff.
I got to hear it when you... I mean...
It's a different song.
I know. No. But what I'm saying is these are... You wrote these songs, right? I mean...
I did write these songs, yeah. Yeah,
listen,
the fanciest song I wrote was a double canon at the 9th with 2 contrapuntal a cappella sections at the end.
Okay. We're talking about a person. Here's what we're talking about, and this is what I love about you. We're talking about a person that can write for those kinds of spiritual voices. And then you wrote that little pop song that we played Real earlier. And that's like
I know, right?
A simple ballad that is...
Yeah, 4 chords.
I know. And I love it. So now I'm saying to myself, I guess what I'm saying, and it's hard to say this to a person that writes all the time in different genres, but if you had to separate it out, or is it not separated into like what your day job songs are and what you really, your dream, I know it's hard to say it, your dream would be, are you the singer-songwriter that wants 1 million streams? Are you the person that wants to get published for your choral music, or are you all of it?
Well, in my heart, I'm like Janine Tesori meets Sarah Bareilles meets Tina Fey.
That gets live clapping, okay? Because you are funny.
I am funny. Maybe meets funny. Justin Timberlake because he got to wear the hot dog costume.
Right. So see, this is what I'm saying. Can we go back to how you got, where did you go to school? When did you start playing piano?
That has nothing to do with anything. I mean, I can tell you, but you'll be like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, do you want to throw your listeners for a loop?
I need to hear it.
All right. Are y'all sitting down? Everyone sit down. If you're standing, if you're driving, everyone sit down. I went to Stanford University. Does that make any sense?
Maybe.
To get a 4-year degree. I majored in music, but Stanford's not known for performing. I did perform when I was there. Got a music degree at Stanford, as you do. And that's it.
Did they have a good
conservatory? No, they didn't particularly have a great music program. Sorry, everybody.
No, there is no sorry, because whoever you are and whatever you did led you to this place. And this is why you're unique.
I'm so wonderful. I'm wonderful, Deborah. Portia. I'm fabulous.
Listen, I went to Eastman. I got accepted at Eastman School of Music and left after a year. I left.
Okay, yeah. Well,
I didn't graduate.
So my best friend was a year ahead of me in high school and went to the Juilliard school, and she was miserable. Left after 2 years. Left music, and it was a cautionary tale. She was so unhappy going to the conservatory. So I was like, I don't think I'm ready to put my brain on a shelf and never do anything else. So let me go to a 4-year school. I graduated, I actually had departmental honors. So I graduated and they thought I knew what I was doing. And then I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. And so I went to Community College of San Francisco and I found a teacher and I was like, I have a music degree. So can I take all your classes at once? And he was like, I mean, you could. So I started that. I took the beginning and the intro and the intermediate at the same time. And then I was like, or maybe just let me start over. And I took his beginning class. And then I just took everything he taught. His name is Jerry Mueller.
I love when people give credit to where the credit is due.
Jerry Mueller at CCSF. Wonderful teacher. I felt like there was the place I could say I don't understand this. I could ask questions. Everyone who was in a music class at CCF wanted to be there, wanted to learn. And I got my foundation really, truly, after graduating and being in music school since I was 4 from Jerry Mueller. And I also want to give a shout out to Linda Weiss, because when I was 4, I was in an after-school music program called Music Enrichment School in the other Manhattan, Kansas. And I learned my love of music and playing other instruments and being part of a community and being loving towards people musically, I learned that from music enrichment.
That's really
And that's really important because I approach music in a loving, collaborative, let's have fun way instead of a let me size you up. You know, who's better? I don't care who's better. The music is better.
Well,
the music we make together
I'm giving you that one too.
If we're in it.
Now, this is what, thank you. Everybody got that. They heard it loud and clear. And this also is, to me, activism within collaboration. I have to say that.
Yes.
I have to say that because it's not always pretty and nice in that situation.
No.
Can you tell us what you did during the pandemic? I did pet songs, as you know.
Yes.
Kim, yes, my partner and I did. We wrote pet songs. People would send us the names of their pets and some funny things about them, and then we posted pet songs. We sang them live on Facebook. You did a great thing on Facebook. What was your show called on Facebook Live?
My Facebook Live show was called Anything But, with your host, ELAINE Romanelli.
Right.
And a few months in, I was like, I need a break from the constant everything. It was just every entertainment show, anything you turned on was just about, I called it the situation. Like bad news of various sorts, activism, like, Black Lives Matter and, people being heard and marching. And it was just, the world was on fire. I couldn't find a place to turn for a break. So I created one. It was a half-hour show. It was interactive, not as great as this because this didn't exist yet. Barsha, you're amazing for being an early adopter. And
so is everybody in the audience.
I know, you guys are all amazing. It was interactive. We'd pick a word. At first I picked them and then we group picked the topic. And they were like, it was like nouns. Sometimes it was obscure, like the Oxford comma. And sometimes it was like, clowns. And I promised that whatever it was, I wouldn't look it up. And I would just talk extemporaneously for half an hour, chatting with the audience, some of whom were there solely to try to make me digress, which I do. And then most of the time, I would write a minute-long song about the topic.
Yes.
So, and sometimes I would write the song, a half hour before. Some of the songs are better than other songs. The spatula, la 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 spatula. I have little songs now about all these weird things. Anyway, so I did that. And for those of us that became part of this little tiny community, it was just a half-hour break from everything.
That's
and
right.
I had listeners at one point from Hawaii to London.
I loved it.
It became time to it was a labor of love, so.
Yeah, we all did that during we had to use our creative energy. I mean, I'm saying during the pandemic, it's ongoing.
I know it's not over, but Victoria Theodore, our mutual friend who we both adore.
Oh yeah, she did those.
They did they did an hour concert, she and her partner, Dave, live for like ever. Just like giving their incredible. This woman, by the way, has toured the world with Stevie Wonder. So, like, it's a gift.
She was on the show.
I will offer my music to you free. That's what I'm saying. If you haven't seen her episode, y'all, go back and find her show. She's just a wonderful human being.
Yes,
Sheila was on the show, too. Sheila Ray was on the show, too. Watch that one, everybody.
Sheila's in the audience. And so is my mother. My mother is here.
Your mother! Oh, thank you for giving us Barsha. Thank you. All the sisters look amazing, by the way. I only know the one, but thank you.
I know, but Martha Barsha she came a little late, but she'll watch. Let me ask you about Deepak Chopra. Whenever anybody gives me a bio and it has Deepak Chopra on it, I want to know what you mean by improv soloist for Deepak Chopra's Home.
This is crazy. So I am a Grammys voter, meaning I listen to submissions, and it takes forever. And as a result of that, I know people in the Grammys community. So I know a man named Kabir Segal, and I know another man, Paul. What's Paul's last name? Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I would like to call everyone out by name, but Paul's a new age composer. Kabir usually works with jazz or writers are his interests. So they were doing a project with Deepak Chopra. And they called me one afternoon and were like, hey, can you come be part of this band for the soft release of his new book called Home, which is various immigrant stories about homes.
Wow.
And I was like, sure. So I get there and they're like, so you're going to improvise a vocal line and you're going to base it in real time, live, while in front of a live audience of almost entirely industry people. And we're streaming it out to 2 million Facebook followers. And if you could just scoop up some of his words as he's speaking, that would be great.
Oh my God.
And I was like,
acapella?
oh,
Like-
there was a band.
There was a band.
There was a band,
Okay.
but there was a band. Thank heavens there's a band.
And did they follow
was
your
gonna
lead doing this?
No, we were all following each other's leads.
Oh my
So no one's in charge. It's all improvised. But I'm the only one trying to make a melody and also make some sense with words.
Yeah.
So I was like a hawk, like listening and watching him, trying to pick up the keywords. I didn't have a text beforehand or a copy of the book or anything. It was literally just real time improvising. So it was really exciting and fun. Millions of people saw. They were very grateful. I got to meet him. I have a picture with him. And it was a really cool experience. You're really in it. You're really live, present there, because you don't have any time to be anyplace else except 100% in the moment. So thank you, Deepak Chopra, for that.
Yes, that's beautiful. Usually, I hope you don't mind, but for the last 15 minutes, I ask anybody in the audience if they want to come up, they want to say anything, they want to share anything. So as we're talking, please just push, the little speaker thing. And if you want to come up, we'd be glad to have you talk to Elaine off camera or on
Absolutely.
camera. It doesn't matter.
As
Okay,
you wish.
coming up, and I use my last 15 minutes to find out also what is happening. Are you coming? What are you doing now in the? You just released an album, didn't you? Or when was that you released?
No. Oh gosh, my last singer-songwriter album was 2015, so it's been a minute.
Oh, because you
Then
look.
I did.
Your picture looks exactly like you look now. I just need to.
There's a portrait aging in an attic somewhere.
It's the portrait of Elaine Romanelli. I love it. But seriously, like that.
Thanks for saying that.
No, because the pandemic put such a hold on everything,
Yeah,
So-
it did. And I had a lot of life events, as we call people dying and being sick. I love
Yes.
life events. 21 life events in 7 years. So it was a situation. I know. That just ended
Wow.
last fall.
I'm so sorry
So
about
I've had not quite a year of like, oh, this is what it's like to breathe above water. This is nice.
Oh, that's and I want to acknowledge your incredible husband. I don't know where he is, whether he's next to you or whatever.
Somewhere.
He's somewhere.
It's Chris. He's a sweetheart.
Yeah, because to have a supportive spouse, I need to say, is really important.
Like him.
Yes. And I have to say, when you find that, you feel so free to be able. I had a belief for a long time that I couldn't have a relationship and a career. And then when I found the person,
Oh, that breaks my heart.
I know, I realized how easy it was. Like I was always cutting short relationships. I said, this is too much. I can't. And then the perfect person comes along and you go like, this is easy.
I also believed that. I thought I would not find someone. And also, for those of you out there that are dating, put all your lists aside. I think there's only one question you ever have to ask or answer, which is, does this person make me more me or less me?
Oh, that's
vice versa.
great.
And if you're a musician, that person, thank you. If you're a musician, that person will never make you choose between them and your art.
That's right. If you're a musician, that person will never make you choose between you and your art. Never. Wow.
Never.
Exactly.
It's never gonna happen
Exactly.
with the right person.
So, and when we had our house upstate, I know you came up there and stayed. And yeah, we had it on
I
Airbnb.
wrote thanks to you.
Oh yeah,
I wrote
my
thanks
baby.
to you. I wrote a bunch of stuff thanks to you. Yes.
So now,
Some
what are
stuff
you
on the
feeling that you're also? You did a great theater thing, the Tony Kushner off-Broadway premiere. What was that? Everybody,
that
if
was-
you don't know who Tony
that was
Kushner is,
cool.
Angels in America. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. That was so cool. I was understudying a show at Berkeley Rep, and the show moved to New York, and I lied. And I said I already lived there, but I was planning to move there, so I was like, it's the same. So I was like, can I understudy it there too? And they were like, yes. Between the Berkeley Rep show and the New York show, Tony, can I call him Tony? No. but still, Mr. Kushner decided to write a world premiere. So now all of a sudden, it's not just a collaboration with Maurice Sendak and Tony Kushner, but it's a Tony Kushner world premiere. So I'm sitting in an empty theater with Tony Taccone from Berkeley Rep and Tony Kushner sitting a few rows in front of me, and they're workshopping a totally new show. And one of them at one point turns at Tony Kushner and says, like, "What do you think? Is that working?" And I'm like, "You asking us? Us?" So that was super cool because they were just people working on their art.
Yes.
I did not get to go on, but it was so exciting to be part of the process of a brand new creation.
Right.
And it was the New Victory Theater, which is an off-Broadway show, but it's on Broadway. So I was like,
it's 42nd Street.
And my name was there for a hot minute, so that was really cool.
And what do you have coming up? Are you writing? Are you doing something for a new album?
Right now, what is exciting me is I'm thinking about ways that I can co-create. Because a lot of what's happened, especially with the pandemic, is like we're all in our little boxes.
Right.
And even before that, I did a lot of work as a solo artist. I got to tour to half the country as a solo artist, and that was great. But I'm a people person. I'm very extroverted, and I love working with other people. So I'm looking at ways I can co-create. And so I'm actually auditioning for musical theater and film and TV because I want to be part of a bigger project. As you mentioned, I published a work with a bunch of other people. I just finished producing a play by our mutual friend Amy Engelhardt, who maybe will be on the show at some point in the future. I don't know. Produced her play, published a collection for other women. I have the Sacred Scores project where I engraved all those things. So I've done a lot of, and then I had the show. So now I'm like, okay, what's ahead? So musical theater, film or TV. And then in my heart of hearts, what I would love, love, love is to like tour as a duo with someone like Sarah Bareilles. Or someone like voice. I mean, she'd be fine. I think we'd work it out. Or like, but just a voice that's got a different quality to my voice. And wouldn't it be exciting when you're writing with someone if you balance each other's stuff a little? So maybe someone will like bring a little more pop edge than I do. Or like someone with, a rhyme scheme. Don't you love it when you hear a rhyme that you're like, I wouldn't have thought of that?
Yes.
Isn't that fun when that energy happens?
Yes. I love collaborating.
So I'm hoping that, so that's what I'm looking for. Collaborating, co-creating. I'm thinking I may even start something cool that you will hear about soon.
Don't tell us yet if it's one of those ideas. Don't tell the universe till it's ready.
I'm not going to tell the universe yet, but you'll be hearing. You'll be on the invite list.
Well,
so co-creating.
So are you saying that first of all, where is that church that you're composer in residence as far as street name and number?
It's 84th between Columbus and Central Park West. Anyone can come anytime. They play my works every single week. So
yes. So if anyone's in the Manhattan neighborhood, they go there. They will hear ELAINE Romanelli's work. She's the composer,
and they'll hear me singing.
Oh, you sing there too?
I'm the soloist and I'm the composer, so it'll be a lot of ELAINE that day.
Okay, in the last 5 minutes, I have to ask you this. What is your spiritual life? I mean, you write for Catholic, Episcopal, Lutheran. It's on your website. Do you have your own belief system or spiritual identification with something?
I am so grateful that you asked me this because I feel very strongly about this. I think if I really have to just put it in a nutshell, and I had to think about this as a writer, where I'm centered is that I believe in my bones in dignity and agency for all people.
Oh, wow.
Dignity, agency, and inclusion.
Yes.
I would like to see a world where, yes, we all have our separate ways, but there's a way that we can be different from one another, but still connected to one another and respectful of one another. And almost everything I do in life as a person, but certainly my art, centers around that. And have you ever done the Clifton Strengths Assessment? I hadn't until recently. So I didn't realize that inclusion could be a strengths area and also a weaknesses area. But I think I see the world a little differently. And I feel very blessed to see the world that way. I really genuinely do think that we are all created equal, and that's my home base. Is I want to be one of the lights in the world that behaves in the world that way, that treats other people that way, that interacts in my business and my housing and my friendships in that way. So I think that's as close as I can get to a.
I think that
moral
is
philosophy.
a beautiful, beautiful thing.
I'm tearing up. I'm getting verklempt. Talk amongst yourselves. It'll pass.
I want to just, I really want to thank you for coming in, talking about activism at this time, blessing us with your music because it's so beautiful, and your voice. I have to say, you have one of the great voices of all time, and that pure tone without the vibrato. Oh my God, you have to ask people to do that, and you just have it naturally. And I just think it's so gorgeous. And so
maybe one of your listeners will hire me for one of
That's
those
right.
works so I can co-create wonderful music.
that's right. And
Hire me for your shows, people.
And on that note, thank you to Charlotte, Graciela, Deanna, Sheila, Audra, Sunai. I hope that's how you say it. JJ Tierney, Martha, my lovely mother, and Kathy, please feel better. And Woody, oh, look at Woody's here. And our lovely Waitbot, who I'm going to bring up now, and he will help us like bring ourselves out. So out of this show, I want to say, Elaine, I am so, so, so happy you were here. And I really, really want you to just continue with this amazing career and doing things to your heart content and bringing inclusivity to everybody and to your world and to all of us. Until next week, everybody.